This is what we're going through, you guys. This is my life. The mount just freaking has been nice and tight. And as soon as I went to take the phone and move it from like this to like this, I was screwing it in, and the whole damn thing came apart, and it broke already. I'll fix it, but it's not the point. It's like, this is, people say I'm all woe is me. No, I'm just showing you. I still keep fucking going, and all kinds of shit like this, as you guys see, is all day long. Every minute, something happens like this. Every minute, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, all day long, nonstop. What are you going to do? You can't quit. We just have to keep persevering. It's frustrating, yeah. It pisses me off, yeah. It's discouraging, yeah. It shouldn't happen to one guy like this, yeah. But it is what it is. It's been my life for 38 years, and I don't think anything's going to change it, unfortunately. I'm always going to have horrendous luck like this. I'm always going to be cursed. It's just my life, and I have to accept it. Okay, while I've got these out, you guys, there's two different kinds of sprockets that you're going to see typically on a chainsaw. I thought I had a spur sprocket right here. Well, shit. Let me grab one right quick, right over here real quick. Ow, 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 ow. Goodness sakes. No, I just had one. Ah, come on, I just had a bunch of them. Oh my goodness, even a used one would be fun. Well, Chet. Ay, ay, ay. Well, now they've all vanished, apparently. Bear with me. I'll have to edit this out. Here we go. Here's a couple. Now I want to do a video on sprockets and everything to show when they're bad and stuff, because this is a spur sprocket. This is an 8-tooth. That's a 7-tooth. But this is from your drive links on your chain. They start grooving in because they fit in here good, but you know, as your chain and all this moves together, it's going at 13,000 RPM, 14.5 sometimes, whatever. It starts to wear a little bit. You know, that's just normal. Metal against metal at friction, it starts to wear. But nonetheless, the other kind of sprocket you have, and these I prefer because you don't have to replace the drum as often. You just have to replace a part that costs anywhere from 20 to 30% cost of the drum, and sometimes even less if you get aftermarket. But with these, there's a few different sizes. On our 462, we're using what my carb company calls a standard. I think this standard is more like the 19 mil, but you have your mini, which is going to be a 17 mil, okay? And then you have your .325s and your 3/8, and I don't think the 404 comes in a mini. It might, but I've not seen one yet. And then we've got, some 325s, 7-tooth, 19 millimeter. So your sizes are typically going to be, you've got your 17 mil, your 19 mil, your 22 mil, and I think there is also a 14 mil, if I remember right, but it's not as common as the rest. And so I just wanted to show you that real quick, since we had to grab one for his rim spline for his 462 for Chris's saw here that he put a deposit on, and we're going to build for him. Just waiting on the two handles to come in. They weren't cheap, but I knew they weren't going to be. And when I priced the saw, I priced it lower than I would have typically, but given that Chris knew I was going to be several months before I could even start his saw, I figured, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give him a good price. And that way, since I haven't seen the saw in a couple months, if there's any little small issues that I haven't thought of, like, unfortunately, I think these are like $65 or $90. My uncle decided he was going to drop this part of it. I had this on here just loose or just snug, and my uncle dropped it, and it just, I don't know how, it just hit right or hit something else. He said it didn't hit nothing else, but I think it did, and it just chipped it. I don't even know where the part went, or the piece went, but I think the 261 might fit, and if so, I've got one over there, but then I've got to order one for my 261. Anyways, so we'll get this stuff out of our way, you guys. And we'll go just a few more minutes on this saw, and that's going to be it. And then I'm going to hopefully go get some sleep. Me and my hiccups. Anyway, so we've got that done now, and we're just going to set it aside. I need to get this string. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I meant to print out the IPL diagrams to show you the few things we need with the part numbers, but I think you can buy these strings separate. I just can't remember, and they're just not repairable. They rip every time I see one on a used saw, even only on the one like this that got barely used before it got a tree dropped on it. These are ripped. You know, it's like, wow, because this is a 462C, but it's not a CM. It is not M-tronic. So here's our carburetor. Okay, it's a MS462 style carburetor. There's our OEM. We did have an OEM carb kit, just happened to have one for that. So I decided we're going to use an OEM carb kit, which I don't do very often, but if I have it, why not? Okay, so we've got our muffler. It's a beautiful two-piece muffler, makes it nice and easy. I really would like to add a pipe to this somewhere, but I got to ask Chris if he wants that or not, and I might even offer to do it for free. Just don't tell him, just because I want to do it after I run the saw. I have built two of these before. Well, I've built one of these before, and I have serviced another one, which was having to take it halfway apart anyways. So I'm just trying to see all of our parts here and see exactly what we've got. There's a lot to this. Oh, where's our tank? Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Neighbors, this is a bad thing if I can't find our tank. Oh, you know what? We're waiting for our tank. Sorry, neighbors. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our oil pump and all that happy stuff over here. One of the important things is mine's already in, but you guys don't want to put your oil pump on after that, because if you don't realize that little rubber grommet is not in there, that oil pump, I've seen it on a couple of saws. Go to my Nightmare 441 and others. That saw didn't leak before my helper at the time reassembled it for me without this part in there, and we were cutting with it, and the saw just started acting up after about 10 minutes. The oil pump rocked and stuff, and not only that, we had to helicoil both the oil pump bolt holes, because the bolts stripped out with the rattling, and then it caused a really weird leak. And again, if you look at Nightmare 441 and others, you'll see that really weird leak on the 441 that I did last year. So I'm just going to dump all these parts on the counter. Careful not to lose any of the real small ones. Usually with the little tiny clips and stuff, I will. I mean, I'm looking at this. See how that's worn right there? That's because it does not fit 100% as tight can be in these things. Usually there's a little bit of play. See that? Even brand new, there's that tiny bit of play. This is still good, but I'm going to see. I think I have another arm, and I'll probably just go and replace that. They call it a pickup, or a control mechanism, or a control arm, or some shit. I forget what they call it exactly, but it's a worm gear arm is what everybody else calls it. So that being said, let me go ahead and fix you guys. Holy shit. See, I thought I tightened everything really good. Oh, there's one right here I got to tighten for that pivot too. This pivot's in like 15 different places. Out of the two stands Blanche has bought us and donated, this is my favorite one. Or no, she donated two, because the tripod I already had and that little one I already had. Trying to think if there's a third somewhere. My tripod broke. The freaking wind caught it on the porch and violently threw it. So that's the end of that. $45, and I tried to take care of it because my investment, I can't afford to buy the second time. But oh well. So it does appear, I haven't checked the part numbers yet, but that the clutch covers do look the same. I was just trying to see if I have a spike, and I've got my big old air compressor down there, but it hasn't run in a while. And the odd thing is, you guys, I fill it with exactly how much the owner's manual calls for the oil, and I even put a brand new oil plug in it, and it just spews oil out that oil plug, because it's got a thing for air to flow, I guess, and no matter what I do, I can't keep oil in the damn thing, and it's starting to sound funny. I know it's going to blow up, but I only paid $100 and something, so all I have to do is buy me a real nice motor for a few $100, and I got a 60-gallon tank still. As long as I got a motor that'll do my powder coater and my sandblasting cabinet, if I can ever afford them, we'll be good to go. So Make sure your voiceover talks about having safety glasses on. A tiny bit, very gently. And you got to grab the IPL and print it up so that you can say the part number right here, Matthew. Get them torque specs. You can actually give the torque specs on this too. You gotta get a torque fucking screwdriver, one that works. But can't afford nothing, so it is what it is. Yeah, Mark's got my drill, so T27 here. My drill's next door. But my installation or my assembly drill is here. My Milwaukee 12 volt. Don't want to use a 24 volt. I'll make that mistake all the time. What do you want, Mark?
I'm going to bring the tools back over to you.
Where's all my drill bits, Mark?
Where do you want these? Over there?
Nope, one right there.
Okay, I was able to get all 3 Troy belts up.
Sad face. Don't have any. Tired as hell, so I'm gonna go to bed after I go finish this little ultrasonics. And besides, this is a good place to stop on the part 1. We're just gonna remove our Loctite here though, and then let's see, our clutch is nice and tight, but no, it's not. See, that's actually got too much play. I'm barely moving that, so these need replaced. I never replace just one, unless the customer's trying to save money and like one broke on them and the other 2 are in still good condition. You know, because they're like $3 a piece roughly for the steel ones typically. Sometimes they're like $4.96 for the bigger ones, but usually I don't get them any cheaper than like $2.96. So, all right, that's part 1 of Neighbor Chris's STIHL MS462 assembly. in part 2, we'll probably try and look at the cylinder with the camera. Look in here. We can see real quick, just by spinning it. Right here. We can see that we got machine lines still and everything on our piston. I'll give you guys a little bit better view. There we go. It looks real good. Whoops. If I can get the light to stay still, damn. You know, the light just doesn't want to fucking stay for me. It's ridiculous. What I do. Can't get it to stay for 30 fucking seconds. Anyways, well, now it doesn't want to spin. I'm just going to grab the flywheel and make it easier for me so you guys can see. And I can go get the last few things done. Because I'm like 5 hours and fucking 6.5 days. I've had 5 hours of sleep. Okay, here we go. Now I can do the light. I'm just going to hold this flywheel tight so I don't F anything up. Make sure you guys have a nice straight on view. There we go. There, now you got a nice view. Okay, so piston looks, gosh dang it. Piston looks good. I don't know if I wrote down my ring gap, but it looks real nice. And so yeah, we'll look at the top end too. I do need to get these decom valves, they leak all the time like this, but sometimes just because the oil seeps out the weeping port doesn't mean the decom valve is bad. The OEMs can be hard to get. God dang it. And even sometimes when you get the OEMs, they leak right off the factory floor. And so I never bother spending the $35 on an OEM. I just spend $9 on an aftermarket, or I'll buy like 50 of them at once and spend like $6. And if I buy like 20 at once, I spend like $8. Yeah, no, I think it's $9 when I buy 25 actually. So, but yeah, I want that to stay and we'll let that soak, and that's going to be it, neighbors.